Welcome back to Dax's Wasteland Workshop. I did a video last week of my hobby area, and I explained that this right side here, the shelves have been up for a number of years. And I just put these 3 shelves up last week. And I was able to bring a lot of models out of storage. And I found 3 models that I completely forgot about. They were up in my attic. These were built in the 90s. I believe they were 94. And found these up in the attic, and they're covered in dust. Need to clear that up first and foremost. This one, my wife built. This was her build, and we had bought the same Cadillac Eldorado 59 monogram kit, and she did all the painting on hers, did the metal foil, did the interior. I did help her lower it, but she painted the engine compartment, everything. I was very proud of her. She did very well. I did mine in a metallic blue. She did hers in a Boyd pearl. It was like a hot pink pearl. Stay to the end of the video and you'll see I polish her car up and the paint job shines, and you can see it at the end. I was 24 years old when I built this. I took it to the San Diego Scale Model Auto Show. Won second place in the custom truck category. I was very proud of myself. First time ever trying a flame paint job. And I attempted ghost flames. And you can see that peeking out through all that dust. So let's find out if we have all the parts to do a rebuild on this. We have the firewall. We have the running board for the passenger side. We have some mufflers and a tailgate. You can see that side's been up, that side's been down. And I've shaved the Chevrolet off the tailgate. And some inside fender wells, both of those. I don't know what happened to this truck to have it in this condition. I don't know if it fell or box fell on it or what, but got a busted suspension that looks like it was repaired before. I do remember maybe 10 or 15 years ago repairing that, just gluing it. Got some more exhaust, and the interior looks intact. So I think we can rebuild it.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
So I'm going to get all this dust off before I do any cleaning. So I don't scratch the paint any worse than it already is. Look at that beauty shine through. Just put its wheel back on here. Getting a look at what it used to look like. And I'm going to run through much of this video in fast speed so you're not here all day. This 50 Chevrolet pickup had quite a different grille on it. You'll see on the box. This was one of my first big custom jobs I had ever done. I took the front end of a 1958 Impala. It had a custom bumper and grille setup, and I took that off and I created this custom truck. This interior is in here real tight, but it's completely filled with dust, so it really needs to be cleaned. And to make it worse, it's felt, and the dust has really settled in there. This was years ago when I used to put carpet in interiors. There's some cobwebs and some cat hair. Get as much of this out as I can. Use 2 different colors of purple for the seats. Please do me a big favor and click that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And using a stiffer brush to get the final dust out of there. And it's not looking too bad. So I have already washed the entire body off with rubbing alcohol and cotton to get as much of the residue off as I could. Now I'm giving it a polish with some fine cloth buffing the surface, and it's looking good. The problem is when you look at it closely, it's got a haze. And the haze is really noticeable in the crevices, corners. So I think there's a lot of buildup on it from the years and years of just sitting in the attic. And the attic gets hot, so I'm sure it's kind of baked the residue into the finish. So what I'm going to do here is polish the entire truck and go fast so you guys aren't here all day. And then off camera, I do end up going over it one more time, and it looks fantastic at the end. I mean, not perfect. It does have some scratches in the paint and a chip in the paint, but it looks great. So I hope you stay to the end. And I'm also going to show my wife's Cadillac off, which I polish that out a little bit too. So we're getting close to where we need to rebuild the suspension. I had thought about just gluing it, but it's really weak on that corner. So I've got a ton of car parts, 3 bins full. I might be able to find some suspension pieces here. What I'm going to do on this rebuild is just get the truck back to looking good. I'm not going to do a full rebuild on the suspension, putting shocks on it and springs. I'm just going to make it have a nice stance and clean it up a little bit. I'm checking the width here. The suspension I have on it right now, the wheels sit very narrow. Look at all that space. So I know I can put a wider suspension in it, but that's right. We're 2025. We have the technology. Get these out of here. We can put on some new wheels, make it look good, dress it up like it's 2025. Get rid of the suspension, put on a wider set. This one's nice and wide. Now I'm not going showroom quality on this rebuild here. I just want to get it back on the shelf looking decent, but it'll look good. And I hope you stay to the end to see it, because it does look very nice. I'm gluing on the brake rotors that go with these wheels. They will help give it a wider stance because these wheels are really offset by quite a bit. They look excellent when they're turned around and viewed from the front. And these rotors will help giving it a little more surface area to glue to. I don't have the back of the wheel rims either. My apologies. I believe I use them for a turbine I built. So she's gonna have to go without the backs. But I'm gonna glue these on, get them as straight as I possibly can, let them dry. And while that's drying, I will work on the muffler placement and the pipes. So there is a glue spot left on the paint. I'm just gonna stick this muffler assembly back on that exact same spot that it was on. I'm missing part of the exhaust that goes from the driver's side, the header down to the muffler. So I'm gonna have to make a new one and get that painted. I'm putting the back end of the exhaust on, and there is also a glue mark that tells me where it used to be. I'm just gonna re-glue it to that same spot and do the same for the other side. I do put a differential, the front of the differential on, and the drive shaft. I didn't get it on video, but I will put a picture of that at the very end here. And so this is a really small piece of styrene tube, really close in diameter to the exhaust. I've put a couple bends in it where they should be, and now I'm just cutting it to length. Then I'm going to take this piece of styrene and paint it silver to match the rest of the exhaust. While that's drying, I will work on some new exhaust tips. This is styrene tube that is a little bit larger diameter than the exhaust that we have on the truck. And I'm going to carve the center out a little bit to thin the wall. I'm painting the tailpipes and the piece of exhaust. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to glue the front suspension on. And now that's drying. The tips are dry. Paint the inside with some flat black. I'm going to speed through this. I'm sure that everyone knows how to glue some exhaust on. Okay, so I've let our front end dry, the suspension is dry, and the exhaust that comes off the driver's side header is dry as well. The paint is dry, so let's put that in. And I also made a windshield wiper. The old windshield wipers were photo etched. I've lost one of them, so I matched it with some thin styrene. And here's a look at the undercarriage with the drive shaft and the front of the differential placed on. And let's put the headlight in.
Better than he was before.
Look at that. And one of the last things we got to do is connect the braided hoses in the engine compartment. And I do give it one more polish after this, and here's the final result.
Better, stronger, faster.
Looks pretty good. You know, it's a 30-year-old truck, very 90s style. Check out the tail lights. I carved those into the bumper. And it used to have a tonneau cover on it. It was a piece of plastic on the back, black, matte black. I think the updated wheels were a nice addition. They helped the stance. I'm glad that I decided to add them. Really happy with the paint job after I polished it. So let's look at my wife's car. A 1959 Cadillac Eldorado. I did a light polish on her car. The paint is actually very thin, and it did start to wear off that center line on the hood. So I didn't go too far, but you can see it does have a nice shine to it. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the like and subscribe buttons. I would appreciate it. And if you want to see a tour of my hobby room, please click the link above. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.